Greetings everyone, I'm Steven and welcome to the SCHOLIDAY show. Last episode we went outside and got inspiration. That's what we do. If you want to see how we did that and what we did, click this button in your top right hand corner of your screen. I think I'm pointing in the right spot, but it's right over there somewhere. Go ahead and click that and check that video out to see how we get inspired. Now, we have a lot of ideas that came from the inspiration from being outside, and today we're going to show you how we take our ideas and organize them in a way to tell a complete story. We're going to give you the 3 most important aspects you need to tell a great story. So let's get started. Okay, so after we get back from our adventure of inspiration, the first thing that we do is sit down and get all of our ideas out on paper. I mean, you can do this any kind of ways. You can write it down, you can type it up, that's what we do, or you can make a board or pie chart or whatever. Basically, it's your brainstorming phase. So you get all of your ideas out and you just basically write them down. Anything you can think of. Dragons, magic, water, dirt, air, anything that you came up with, okay? So once you get all your ideas down on paper, now you can start looking at the elements you want to incorporate into your story. All right, so during the brainstorming phase, all of my ideas always come from the angle of a cinematographer or an editor, because that's basically what I love doing the most. So every time I come up with an idea, I instantly start thinking of how I'm going to capture it or the way I'm going to edit it, which is okay for me, but when you're actually telling your story, you don't really want to limit yourself to how you think you're going to be able to capture it. So for more advice on just getting your ideas out and storytelling, let's get you over to a professional who actually knows more about that than I do. Hi, I'm Daniel.
Ladies and gentlemen, the salutatorian of his graduating class, Daniel Howard Jr.
When writing, never limit your story to what you believe can practically be done. For example, if you're writing a script, do not allow the limitations of potential production challenges dictate what you write. Tell the story you want to tell by writing the story you want to write. Next week, we'll talk about how to break down a script to prepare for production, and we'll also discuss some of the potential production challenges.
Okay, when you're brainstorming, you have all your ideas out there on paper. This is a perfect time to go out and practice some of the elements that you guys or your team or yourself have chosen to be the elements in your story. With our story, we have decided that we're going to do something in the sci-fi genre. We're going to have teleport, we want to do some teleportation stuff, we're going to do some magic and some VFX, glowing type things, stuff like that. Just because you're brainstorming and writing things down, that is not an excuse to not go out and practice as a cinematographer, because you're a professional. We're all professionals here. Think of it this way. Think of your favorite athlete. They know they have a game on Friday. Do you think they just sit on their ass all week and do nothing and then just show up at the game and expect to be top dog? No, that's not how it works. I'm not even gonna go into a little reason of why that could work. All professionals, athletes, everyone who are professional take their craft seriously, they actually practice. Okay, so when you brainstorm and if you come up with an idea or something and you expect that you're going to be able to capture that and you haven't practiced it, you're kind of an idiot, because when you show up on set and you pull out your gear and you have not practiced at all on what you're going to be doing, you're unprofessional, you're a disgrace to all of us cinematographers, and you should be shot and you're a piece of shit, so fuck you. But you're not like that. You're an actual professional, so you're going to actually practice before you go, right? I know we're going to incorporate teleporting and magic, and I've done simple effects before. We can just capture, you know, a clean plate, put your subject in there, then move them out the way, then you just kind of cross dissolve them in later. So I want to utilize that same technique and also take it a step further, and I'm personally working on combining shots. I want my master shots to be, you know, very well orchestrated, and I want to go from, you know, extreme wide shots to medium close-ups to close-ups and everything in one master shot. So that's me combining shots. So to take it a step further, here's my chance to go out as a cinematographer and a professional and practice the shot that I want to do. Well, as you can see, I did accomplish what I set out to do. I did do a combination of shots. I did my tilt down into my extreme wide establishing shot. You see the character, he runs up and then he recomposed the shot into a medium close-up / close-up shot. Then he looks over his shoulder, so it automatically becomes an over-the-shoulder shot, and it was all good. But when you're out there practicing, it doesn't have to be perfect. That is your chance to make mistakes because you are practicing. And here's the saying for you. Perfect practice promotes perfect performance. One more time. Perfect practice promotes perfect performance. It is self-explanatory, but in case you kind of missed it, the way you practice is the way you're going to perform. So as a cinematographer, the way that I practice capturing my shots, that's the way I'm going to perform it when I'm on set dealing with the client. Even as far as what I'm wearing, what I have on. I'm not out there practicing in pajamas and just relaxed clothing, because when I show up on set, that's not what I'm going to wear. Imagine again the athlete. I was in marching band for mostly all of my beginning life. I was a musician first, but I know what it's like to practice in a t-shirt and mesh basketball shorts, and then at the game I'm wearing a complete wool uniform, and suddenly everything feels different. It just, I don't know, all of a sudden the uniform is heavier and I'm using more energy. So I know what that's like, and because of it, I was fortunate enough to have great leaders that taught us to wear heavy clothes during practice, especially the couple days before, so we can get our bodies acclimated to wearing the uniform at the game. Same thing as a cinematographer. You must practice exactly the way you're planning on performing when you're on set. Because as a cinematographer, you are an athlete, you are a performer. You want your stuff looking neat, you want it looking good, you want to be seen as a professional. You don't want to be sloppy and look stupid, because you'll look ghetto, and again, you'll be unprofessional, and you'll disgrace us all cinematographers, and you're a piece of shit, and fuck you. But you're not that person, you're a professional, and you want to practice as such. So keep that in mind. Perfect practice promotes perfect performance. Okay, that's all for this episode, guys, and I want to leave you with 3 important things, probably the most important things you want to remember to always have for every story. The 3 most important things you want to have to tell your story are a premise, the inner journey for your main character, and your main character's outer journey. They all must connect together to tell that great story you're talking about. For example, let's use James Cameron's favorite premise, love conquers all. And that should be an argumentative statement, meaning that people can either agree with that or disagree. Once you have that in your head, you choose the side you want to prove. Let's say you want to prove that it is true, love does conquer all. Since you want to prove that, that is your inner journey for your main character. Your main character's inner journey must prove that love conquers all. An easy way that we look at inner journeys, especially starting out, is think about your main character going from one emotional state to another. And usually opposites work well. For this example, let's go with sad and happy. The main character is going to start off sad and end up happy. And that must prove that love conquers all. That's an easy way to put in, hey, main character is sad, he meets the love of his life and ends up happy. Now you have a general idea of a premise and a story. Final thing you need to make all this exciting and not just the plain, well, duh, love story, is your outer journey. And that is what we kind of use as like our backdrop for what the story actually is. And backdrop, we mean like what genre. Is it a horror movie, sci-fi, or whatever? For this example, let's say sci-fi. Let's say aliens come to Earth and they want to take over the planet. But we must prove that love conquers all, and our hero must go from sad to happy. You can kind of put that together, like let's say the character starts off sad because the Earth is getting invaded by aliens. Then he falls in love with an alien. Holy shit. Now he's in love with the aliens, and he must find a way to tell the president not to kill the aliens because we can live in one big harmony. Boom, now you have an Academy Award winning blockbuster movie. Everyone loves love, the character is gonna go from sad to this, and it's got aliens and all kinds of shit that can blow up on screen. So that is just a little snippet of how we break down stories, and that is what we would consider the 3 most important things you would need to tell a story are the premise, argumentative statement, the inner journey of your main character, one emotional state to another, and the outer journey, which is basically what the goal is outside of the inner journey, like aliens, you gotta stop them, kill the assassin, get revenge, whatever it is, and all that kind of stuff. And that's it. Now, in the next episode, we're gonna break down our script and get ready for production and show you guys professional tips and tricks to break down any script so you can practically put it together and not set yourself up for extreme disaster and failure. That's all I have for this show. Again, I'm Steven. This is the Scholarly Show, and always remember to be kind to yourself, to others, and do all things with love. I will see you guys next time when we show you guys how to break down a script.